misogynistic and insulting. First tonight on Our News Weekend, F&M Senator Michael Barnett Ellis hitting back after a former PLP cabinet minister referred to her as a little young girl as she runs for the Killarney constituency. Plus, Family Islands one step closer to getting new fire trucks and facilities to house them. The National Security Minister is on the record tonight with the next steps. And a local filmmaker creates a Bahamian superhero that's taken social media by storm. Our Daniel Miller shares his creativity behind the project. Our News, the Weekend Edition, starts right now. Welcome to Our News, the Weekend Edition. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Berthany McDermott. Entirely unnecessary. That's how Free National Movement Senator Michael Barnett Ellis is describing former PLP MP Leslie Miller's comments about her choice to run against former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis in the Killarney constituency for the F&M. She calls his comments both misogynistic and disrespectful to Bahamian women. Miller described her as a little young girl with the audacity to run against former Prime Minister Minnis. Miller has since apologized, following fierce backlash, saying he did not intend to be offensive. The F&M senator believes his comments are a step backwards.
I think in the bigger picture is not only offensive to women, but also offensive to, us young people in our 40s that are seeking to come forward and make a difference and really build on the work that people like Leslie Miller and those of that generation have done. At some point in time, the baton needs to be passed. And so it's insulting to those who are seeking to come forth to carry on this journey of a better Bahamas.
It started in Friday's Tribune newspaper, where Miller supported Dr. Minnis's bid to run again in Killarney, while criticizing the F&M's decision to axe the former PM. Miller said he told Prime Minister Philip Davis the PLP should not run a candidate directly against Dr. Minnis, but should instead contest the new seat if Killarney is divided. Barnett Ellis was recently ratified for the seat and believes comments like this prevent the passing of the baton.
I think it does, and it's not limited to frontline politics. You see it in private industry, you see it in the public service, you see it in private businesses. This view that the next generation must wait, and the question is how long?
Public schools opened this week with a principal shortage, while Labor and the Public Service Minister Pia Glover-Rolls says they are working to fill the vacancies. The Bahamas Educators Managerial Union went public with complaints of the shortages as thousands of students were re-entering the classrooms. President Stephen McPhee telling Our News his members are tired of filling in the face of this ongoing problem.
As you know, there has been shortages. Gratefully, we have been able to come together, the ministries of public service and labor and education, to do a job fair. So now we've attracted some persons in terms of teachers, and principals have applied and responded to the advertisements. So we're getting those positions filled slowly but surely. There is due process. We do understand that we are working in the schools where there is an urgency to fill the positions, in particular those positions that are on our family islands, and we're both working out, both of our ministries are working together to expedite the process.
Parents on some family islands took their complaints to social media, frustrated at the start of another school year with no principals. Meanwhile, Glover-Rolls says it's a process to fill these positions.
The Ministry of Education would submit these principals that are shortlisted to the Ministry of Public Service. Public Service Commission would conduct interviews, and after those interviews are done, then the process goes through the Commission, goes through the Governor General, and is completed.
Fire trucks for several family islands are closer to the delivery now that purchases have been approved. National Security Minister Wayne Munro telling reporters of the approvals at the Office of the Prime Minister's weekly press briefing. Back in May, Prime Minister Philip Davis said it was government's intention to build a new fire station and secure modern fire trucks, protective equipment, and firefighting tools. The investment promise followed a string of fires in New Providence, Grand Bahama, Abaco, and other family islands. The lack of response and inability to control these fires drew harsh public criticism in the wake of thousands of damage and the destruction of natural vegetation. Munro admitting this week the trucks alone aren't enough.
A part of what has to accompany the purchase of the vehicles necessarily is the construction of fire sheds to accommodate those. So, for instance, you don't want a ladder truck, as happened in Grand Bahama, where it may not be able to be accommodated in a shed. And so the Public Procurement Board was interested in knowing, and the Financial Secretary specifically, that we're not going to be spending money and leaving these things out in the element.
The government also wants to build a new fire shed at police headquarters to store those new trucks.
And hopefully that will commence shortly to accommodate the apparatus that are going to be there, the men, because firemen sleep at their fire stations, and officers. And we've also, as you may know, recruited fire officers from the time we got in office. And in the current squad, there's an F squad of fire officers also in that squad.
5 men were charged and fined in the magistrate's court this week for illegally landing and overstaying. The 4 Haitian and 1 Venezuelan pleaded guilty before Chief Magistrate Roberta Reckley. They were all fined between $300 and $1,500. Failure to pay will end in jail time. They were all ordered to be handed over to the Department of Immigration for deportation once the fines are paid or time served. In a separate matter, 19 Haitian nationals appeared before Senior Magistrate Raquel Wims and were convicted of various immigration-related offenses, including overstaying, illegal landing, knowingly misleading an immigration officer, and possession of forged or fraudulent documents. When our news weekend comes back from the break, a Bahamian has been appointed the Vice President of the General Conference of Seventh-day Adventists. Tonight, he shares his story. And the Bahamas Chess Federation makes it to the global stage with the help of a corporate sponsor. We'll tell you who when our news weekend returns. Last weekend, family, friends, and the congregation of Grantstown Seventh-day Adventist Church gathered for a service to recognize the international achievement of a local pastor. The honoree of the night sharing in this report, he's embracing the new achievement with a humble heart. Our news cameraman Tate Bethel has the story tonight.
Even though you're coming from a small place, that ought not to limit you and your effectiveness. God can use anyone from anywhere who is willing.
Pastor Johnson is no stranger to impact and achievement. He oversaw the construction of the new Bahamas Academy, an institution developed in large part by the Volunteer Bahamas Adventists, an organization he created. Pastor Leonard also received one of the highest honors of the UK royal family, the Companion of the Most Distinguished Order of St. Michael and St. George. Previously positioned as the General Secretary, his new post as one of the 7 vice presidents will now impact the wider SDA organization.
So I see myself as someone from the Bahamas, but someone from the Inter-American Division. That's the territory that includes the Bahamas, all of the West Indies, Central America, and the northern tip of South America.
A few of his roles include serving as president of his division of the General Conference, lead General Conference meetings in the absence or discretion of the president, and strengthening the bond of the World Church. However, Pastor Johnson has a mission in mind that spans beyond himself. He says, as he remains thankful to God, he aims to keep something specific at heart while moving forward.
It is something that I embrace with the grace of God to do my best in advancing the mission of the kingdom of God at this level.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Tate Bethel.
Thanks, Tate. The Bahamas Chess Federation earning a rapid rating in the World Under-16 Youth Olympiad this year, while competing for the first time in this event. It would not have been possible, though, without a well-known corporate sponsor.
Chess is a game that teaches valuable lessons: how to stay calm under pressure, strategic thinking, and how to plan for the long term. These are skills that we like to see not only in our youth, but actually here at BPL, we do that every day. So we thought this would be a perfect partnership.
Bahamas Power and Light powering the sponsorship of the Bahamas Chess Federation's international participation and top awards against 45 other countries. The event, the World Youth Olympiad in Colombia. Bahamas Chess Federation First Vice President Beverly Turnquest admits proximity made the dream a lot achievable.
But this was actually the first time the Youth Chess Olympiad under 16 was on this side of the world, and not Uzbekistan or Kyrgyzstan, where it would take probably a $3,000 ticket. And it was so close, I could almost touch it.
Next steps involved getting a sponsor, and BPL stepped up. The 4-player team practiced up to 3 hours daily in preparation. It was the first time the Bahamas participated in the World Youth Under-16 Olympiad. 14-year-old Master Chica Pride was a part of that team.
It was really fun. I really enjoyed the experience. It was challenging, but it was good, and I was happy to go with the team that I went with, and I think we did well. I plan to get the Women Grandmaster title, which is the highest title, but I gotta get to each one first, so I just plan to work towards each one.
BPL is hoping their example will inspire more corporate involvement.
I think supporting Bahamian youth and developing young leaders is something that, of course, BPL is doing, and we think is something lovely for all Bahamian corporations to get involved in, because we all reap the benefit of developing our youngsters in our community.
As for what's next for the STAR team,
The president's eyes are set on a high medal contention with the CAC, which is now in Puerto Rico in December. So everybody is individually trying to fundraise to get these kids to go to compete in the CAC, which is a smaller region because that's the Caribbean and the Central America. But our kids has traditionally done very well in this particular regional event. And this is how they practice. This is like training and practice to get better, to compete and to contest the best in the world.
Still to come in our news weekend, a decade and some. The Bahamas Half Marathon marks 13 years, and you're invited to be a part of it. But first,
our top local youth flag football league kicked off, and we'll bring you the highlights next on our Sports Weekend.
For over 2 decades, our loyal viewers have made us the most watched and trusted half hour of television. And now, with more reasons to watch.
Those chaotic scenes from Parliament this morning as the mace dramatically thrown through the windows.
Our News, weeknights at 7:30 with Atalia Hall. Just another reason to stay with the team you already trust.
Good evening, welcome to our Sports Weekend. I'm Tej Adderley. The Bahamas Youth Flag Football League began its 10th season. Let's take a look at the opening ceremony.
And to all of our young athletes, have fun, play hard, and keep learning with every game. Whether you're scoring a touchdown, making a great pass, or cheering from the sidelines, you're making memories that will last a lifetime. Now, formally declare the season open. Thank you.
That's Royal Bank of Canada's Assistant Vice President, Krista Wilson, opening up the Bahamas Youth Flag Football League season. In its 10th year, RBC is the anchor sponsor of the league, which will host over 200 boys and girls aged 6 to 18 as they learn the fundamentals of the game and they get meaningful reps against competition. The league has welcomed hundreds of young athletes over the past 10 seasons, and this year, for the first time, it will also branch off to Abaco. They play every Saturday at the field in front of the Thomas A. Robertson Stadium in New Providence and at the Patrick Bethel High School Field in Abaco. And once again, the league welcomes kids aged 6 to 18 and registration is still open. So if you know anyone who wants to play, head out there to TAR or Patrick Bethel in Abaco and sign up. Now we leave our sunny shores for the Pacific Northwest, where Jonquel Jones and the New York Liberty hit the hardwood on Friday night. JJ and Liberty took down the Seattle Storm 84-76 last night. It wasn't the best night for JJ. She had 2 points on 1 of 4 shooting, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists, fouling out at only 18 minutes of play, and the team was missing sharpshooter Sabrina Ionescu, who was still nursing an injury. But former league MVP Breanna Stewart picked up the slack, going for 24.7 rebounds and 4 assists. Leonie Fibish added 21 points for the victory. Seattle center Nneka Ogwumike was the source of a lot of JJ's foul issues. She had 20 points and 9 rebounds, and Skylar Diggins added 14 points and 7 assists for Seattle. Now that was a rough night for JJ, but I'm sure she'll take the victory any way she can get it. They'll play next on Tuesday when they take on the Washington Mystics. And we are all done with sports for this evening. For our Sports Weekend, I'm Tage Adderley. I'll see you tomorrow night.
Thanks, Tage. Runners, dust off your shoes. This story is for you. The Bahamas Half Marathon is back for its 13th year with a 10K, 5K, and relay race. The route starts at Arakey to Goodman's Bay and as far west as Wendy's Cable Beach. Race day is Sunday, November 23rd. Bahamas Roadmasters Running Club is back as the host of the race. President Siobhan Lightbourne-Mora talks about why the race is happening a lot earlier this year.
The aim is to make sure that everybody is off the road so to give the motoring traffic time to get to church and do whatever. As well as the runners like that because we get to start a little earlier, which means we end a little earlier so we can have more fun at the end of the day, because at the end of the race we also have, everybody get together. It's a fun time to have. You celebrate your wins, you celebrate, I actually crossed the finish line, this is my first marathon, whatever.
The event is open to runners from all over as runners from around the world participate.
Yes, we have runners from the United States, we have runners from Canada, we also have runners from the UK. So we've been seeing an increase in international runners. So of course you will be sharing the race course with not just our local runners. We'll be sharing the field with international runners, people who come down. They're going to make sure they're adding something to our economy. So this is also a part of sports tourism.
Still to come in our news weekend, are any superheroes living in the Bahamas? Well, a local filmmaker has a creative cinematic response to the question. The details when our news weekend returns.
For over 2 decades, our loyal viewers have made us the most watched and trusted half hour of television. And now, with more reasons to watch.
Those chaotic scenes from Parliament this morning as the mace dramatically thrown through the windows.
Our News, weeknights at 7:30 with Atalia Hall. Just another reason to stay with the team you already trust.
Welcome back to our news weekend. The first week of school turned out to be a rainy one. Meteorologist Ian McKinsey is in the Weather Center with your weekend forecast.
Thanks, Berthany, and good evening, Bahamas. Welcome to your Saturday evening forecast where we have some clearing skies on the outside. Temperature of 85, feels like still muggy at 92. Winds are from the east at 8 miles per hour. Temperatures across the country at this time, we have 84s in Freeport, Marsh Harbor, and in Nicholstown, Andros, 85s in Allenstown, Great Harbor Key, the capital, and in Governor's Harbor, Eleuthera. Central Bahamas, 85s continuing in Kemps Bay, Black Point, Exuma, as well as Coburn Town, San Salvador, and Deadman's Key, Long Island, a pair of 86s in Arthurstown, Kidd Island, and Port Nelson, Rum Key, 87, the hotspot in the Central Bahamas, Georgetown, Exuma. Southeast Bahamas, those 85s again in Duncan Town, Colonel Hill, and in Abrahams Bay, Mayaguana, 86 in Delectable Bay, Matthew Town, and Providenciales, Turks and Caicos. Satellite and radar imagery. Moisture all across the northwest Bahamas, some drying in the central and southeast islands. The moisture is all courtesy of a stall frontal boundary across the extreme northwest Bahamas area. This should gradually continue to retrogress or move towards the west and into the Florida area. That should give us a little relief, probably like late tomorrow into Monday, but then moisture return again. We look at that in our extended forecast. Taking a look now at the tropics, where we have Invest 91L out there in the mid-Atlantic. The system is expected to move more towards the west. However, environmental conditions remain unfavorable for development at this time. So National Hurricane Center is only giving it about a 30% chance for possible development. Elsewhere, Nothing else in the tropics to talk about, but we do have a mid-level low that's just to our east. This should move west and increase rain chances across the central and southeast Bahamas early in the week and the midweek in the northwest and extreme northern islands. Taking a look now at possibility for development, September 12th through 15th. Again, Hurricane San is only giving it a low chance for possible development elsewhere. The tropics remain quiet at this time. Taking a look now at a boating forecast in the northwest Bahamas, winds will be southerly around 10 to 15, falling light and variable at times. Yes, beautiful boating conditions. Seas running 2 to 4 feet. High tide at 7:39 p.m. tonight. Low tide at 2 a.m. tomorrow morning. For the central and southeast Bahamas, again, conducive, gorgeous boating conditions. Winds east to southeast 10 to 15. Seas running 2 to 4 feet and even falling lighter at times. In your extended forecast, some showers again expected across the area tomorrow, some gradual clearing. So we see through midweek, we see a mix of sun and clouds. And by Thursday, again, those heavier showers, all courtesy of that mid-level low moving into our area, and that should continue into next weekend. Look at the temperatures. We're battling upper 80s now. Expect those to even feel cooler as the rain, cool showers come. And at nighttime, we're looking at upper 70s, low 80s. That's a wrap in the evening forecast. Make it a great, safe, fun night, everyone.
Thanks, Ian. Gotham City is the home of Batman, and Superman calls Metropolis home. But what superhero or heroes are living in the Bahamas? A well-known local filmmaker recently posted his cinematic response to this question on social media, and it's gone viral. Of course, our Danielle Miller has the scoop in this week's Arts and Entertainment segment.
Straight from the imagination of popular filmmaker in Grand Bahama, Zaneo Newbold, straight to our devices was his depiction of a superhero, Bahamian style.
Give me the machine back!
Wait, it's Alibaba! Give me my bag! Save me! Help!
Unhand this now!
The video is called Bahamian Superheroes Part 1, posted to Zaneo's social media platforms earlier this week, and in a short time has gotten more than 150,000 viewers. Newbold told me that the idea was sporadic, and in the moment of spontaneity, he called a few of his friends and gave his vision life.
I'll save you.
My hero!
Breakfast reached me. Nice, boy, finally! No hungry, Ben, boy. She's in, boy. You get us from Island today? Yeah, man. You know how we carry on.
Hello.
Honestly, I didn't think, the end result would have looked like that, but it did. So I thank God for that.
Filled with cultural anecdotes, comedic banter, cinematic effects, and bright costumes, he says what makes this project special is a testament that he is always challenging himself.
Every video that I do, I want to go higher and higher and higher. So this one was definitely one of those videos where, I was able to change just regular clothing into a superhero clothing, and it's only going to get better.
And the pressing question, will there be a part 2?
I do plan on making this a series. Maybe 5 episodes, you know what I mean? Because, I don't like to linger on things too long. But you could expect a lot of things in part 2. I plan on taking part 2 to an even greater level. So, you know what I mean? Part 1 is just a proof of concept. But now that I know that it's possible, y'all can start seeing some crazy things. Flying, punching, you know what I mean? Like, hey, come on, man,
Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
Up, and away!
Thanks, Danielle, and thank you for joining us for Our News Weekend. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Berthany McDermott. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Make it a great evening, everyone.
Hey guys, Megan Shepherd here. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Just click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so you stay up to date with content like this from the team you already trust.